Today on Rappler. Senate President Zubiri says the Senate will lead the review of charter change proposals. The Philippine military will develop islands in the West Philippine Sea to make it more habitable for troops. China calls for a peace conference in Gaza 100 days since Hamas's October 7 attack on Israel. Pope Francis defends his declaration on same-sex blessings. And the Philippine remake of My Sassy Girl starring Tony Gonzaga and Pepe Herrera drops. The Senate leadership takes the lead in reviewing proposals to amend the economic provisions. Previously called about amending the Constitution, Senate President Mig Zubiri now says he met with President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. and House Speaker Martin Romualdez on January 5 to raise concerns about the supposed People's Initiative.
The President agreed with us that the proposal was too divisive and asked the Senate to instead take the lead in reviewing the economic provisions of the Constitution.
The Senate review on Chacha will be in the context of the Public Service Act, which was amended to allow foreign ownership in certain public services. On Monday, January 15, Zubiri files a resolution proposing amendments to certain economic provisions of the Constitution. The resolution only includes amendments in the operation of public utilities and education services. Armed Forces of the Philippines Chief Romeo Brawner says the Philippines will develop its islands in the South China Sea to make them more habitable for troops. The plans come amid heightened tensions between the Philippines and China in the strategic waterway. Apart from Ayungin Shoal, the Philippines occupies 8 other features in the South China Sea that are part of its exclusive economic zone. Brawner says the military wants to bring a desalination machine for troops living aboard the grounded warship BRP Sierra Madre in Ayungin Shoal. He adds also included in the military's modernization plans is the acquisition of more ships, radars, and aircraft. Besides the Philippines, Brunei, China, Malaysia, Taiwan, and Vietnam have competing claims of sovereignty in the South China Sea. Chinese Foreign Minister Wang Yi calls for a large-scale and authoritative peace conference on the war in Gaza. This after Hamas released a video of 3 Israeli hostages, including one who is half Chinese, saying if the Israeli government halts its offensive against Hamas, it would free the captives. Wang said last week President Xi Jinping had in-depth communication with the leaders of Saudi Arabia and Iran. Wang also expressed concerns over the Red Sea during his talks with the Secretary General of the Arab League. 100 days have passed since Hamas's October 7 attack on Israel, prompting a fierce assault on Gaza by Israeli forces. Israel says 132 Israeli hostages are held in Gaza, and 25 of them have died in captivity. Meantime, the Gaza Health Ministry says over 24,000 people have been killed, with more than 60,000 wounded. Pope Francis defends a landmark decision approving blessings for same-sex couples. The pontiff suggests those in the Catholic Church who have resisted it have jumped to ugly conclusions because they do not understand it. Pope Francis says this is what happened with a recent declaration titled Fiducia Supplicans, which translates to supplicating trust. In December 2023, the Vatican approved the ruling that Roman Catholic priests can administer blessings to same-sex couples as long as they are not part of regular church rituals or liturgies. The Vatican has stressed the blessings did not amount to an approval of gay sex. It should also not be seen as the sacrament of marriage for heterosexual couples. But a clarification from the Vatican's doctrinal department did not sway bishops in Africa, where same-sex activity can lead to prison or even the death penalty in some countries. Tin Can Films releases the trailer for the Philippine remake of South Korean romantic comedy film My Sassy Girl. The trailer, posted on actress Tony Gonzaga's YouTube channel, gives a first look at her and Pepe Herrera in their roles as lead characters Sheena and Junji. The 2-minute clip shows the pair go on a series of adventures, with Tony's brazen character often humiliating Pepe's Junji. The end of the trailer also reveals the film is slated to premiere in cinemas on January 31. My Sassy Girl was a 2001 film starring Junji Hyun and Cha Tae-hyun and became Korea's highest top-grossing film. It tells the story of a college student who meets a drunk woman near a train rail and rescues her. Their odd bond begins there. It spawned a number of film and TV remakes in countries such as the US and Japan. And that's today's wrap. I'm Ninel Yu. Thank you for watching. Click the link below for the full story. Follow us on Rappler's YouTube, Facebook, X, Instagram, and TikTok.